Okay, here goes our last video on today's topic of variables and expressions. We're going to take a moment and we're going to translate from words into expressions for math. Now, the order that you go in is very important to the organization. You know, go ahead and read through your sentence, and when you write it down, you want to try to get it on one line if you can. So 8 more than a number n. Okay? Now I have no doubt in my mind that we all know how to write 8. We've got a pretty good on more. You need to take your first step and watch for trigger words. I call them trigger words, and those are your order switching words, saying when you need parentheses, things like that. So if you go back to the video before, we talked about than being an order switcher. What it does is it takes the two concepts around them and it switches them around. Okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to write it kind of like I read it. And then I'm going to remember the concept of the fact that than's going to switch the order. So 8, you're going to write the actual number instead of the word. More means plus. Than means we're going to switch the order, which we'll get to that. A number n. So this is our variable, a number n. Okay? So because it said than, okay, we're going to take the two sides around this plus sign and we're going to switch them. So instead of 8 plus n, it's actually n plus 8. Okay, so you need to pay really good attention to the wording of your examples. So again, let's read through this one. 7 less than the product of 4 and a number x. So this one has a lot to it. First thing I notice is what I call a trigger word, and it means that the order is going to change. Okay? I don't see anything that's telling me that I'm going to need parentheses, so I'm going to go ahead and translate it like I see it. So 7 less, then means I'm going to switch my order in a minute. The product, okay, product means times, and it's going to times what you see after it, 4 and a number x. So the product of 4 and a number x would be 4 times x. Okay? So now than is next to less. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the two things around that minus sign and we're going to switch their order. So instead of 7 minus 4x, it's actually 4x minus 7. Okay, it doesn't seem like it should be a big deal, but it does make a huge difference in what the problem actually means. So you really have to watch out for that word then. Okay, 5 subtracted from a number g. So you've got 5 subtracted from, that's another order switcher if you go back to your notes, subtracted from a number g. Okay, so I'm going to write it like I see it. 5 subtracted g. But because it says from, it's going to switch it around. It's actually g minus 5. And this one kind of makes more sense in the way it's worded. 5 subtracted from. Okay, so 5 is being subtracted from g, and that's why g needs to be written first. So that's another order switcher that you need to be aware of and watch out for. Okay, we've got 3 increased by the quotient of a number k and 4. Okay, so got a lot of extra words that we really don't use. We're going to translate like we see it. So 3, I don't see any order switching. I don't see than or from. I don't see any parentheses words. So 3 increased by is plus. Quotient, it's an easily forgotten one. Quotient means division. Okay, and we show division in algebra with a division bar. Sometimes you see the division sign, but we're going to use a division bar. And what they're dividing is what it says after, k and 4. It goes in the order you see it, so it's division of k and 4. If you're still not used to using that division bar, if you translated yours as k divided by 4, you knew it was quotient was division, that would be an acceptable answer. Okay, this is our last one that I'm going to go through with you. You've got 6 times the sum. So you've got this phrase, times the sum of a number a and 16. So this times the sum is your parentheses trigger phrase. Okay? So 6 times the sum. Okay, you're going to put your parentheses, and sum is plus. So in the middle of the parentheses, you're going to put a plus sign. And that sum is of a number a and 16. So you're going to put a and 16. So this is 6 times the entire sum of a and 16. That one takes a little getting used to, but as you practice, you'll get there. Alright, so I've got some problems I want you to give a try and see how you do. It's okay if you get them wrong. This is the learning process, okay? But try them. Okay, you won't get any better if you don't try at all. So we make sure we try them, and then after that, hit play again and check your answers to mine. If you get them wrong, it's okay, just go through and check and see if you can figure out why, how to fix it, and we can learn from that. So go ahead and hit pause right now, and then when you hit play again, the answers will be here for you. Okay, here's the answers to the ones that I wanted you to try. I know that they're a little different than the ones I talked about. We've got the exponents. I didn't see any order switching words in the phrases. If you wrote this one as 7 times m to the 5th, that would be okay. If you wrote it as 7 times with an x, technically that's correct, the x standing for times, but since we have a lot of variables in algebra, we want to avoid using that as an answer and write it as one of those instead. If you need to take a moment and check them, you can hit pause. You'll be working on this and practicing. Make sure if you have any questions that you let us know.